Hi and welcome to today's live stream from Logosol. Today we have quite nice weather, I would say, here in Härnösand, Sweden. Logosol is a family-owned business that's been around since 1989. If you want to know more about Logosol and our products, you can visit logosol.com. Where you can find more information about us and about our products. All pricing can be found online. Today we are going to go through some of the basic stuff that comes with the Sawmills and also some of the accessories that are really good to have when working with the Sawmills. So in the back here we have the B751 and the B751 Pro. So we're going to look at some accessories for those Sawmills. As I mentioned, if you go to logosol.com, you can find prices and more information. And you can also choose to sign up for our newsletter. So if you click the banner on the top of the page, you will get the first email containing our digital newspaper. And after that, you will receive a mail every month approximately, and with more information regarding campaigns, new products, and more inspiration when it comes to working with wood and our products. We're doing these live streams now every week. And if you want to see our previous live streams, please visit our Facebook page, Logosol Portable Sawmills. You can also find them on YouTube, and that's also Logosol Portable Sawmills on YouTube. So go there if you want to find out all the live streams we've done already. And if you want to see the live streams we are planning for the future, the closer future anyway, in August, please visit our webpage, logosol.com. We will have the chat active both on YouTube and Facebook during this live stream, so please ask your questions in the chat, and hopefully I can answer them, and we can perhaps even show it on the machines we have here if we have the accessory, or if we can answer your question that way. So let's get started. I have a helper today. I have a cameraman, Marcus, who will help out in showing you all the details. So first we're going to look at the B751, which is our basic Sawmill. Comes with two different motor options, 13 horsepower petrol engine and a three-phase 4 kilowatt electric motor. Cuts up to 4.8 meters in standard length, and you can extend it with 1 meter and 20 centimeters for each extension. And you can extend it as long as, whatever your need is to be able to cut 6, 7, 8 or 10 meter long logs. It comes with a few standard accessories. Comes with these support feet that you can see in the bottom here. So when you set the mill up for the first time, you use these feet to level the bed. And it comes with a pair of feet per cross bank. So for a standard mill, you have 10 feet. So it's basically for putting up your mill and so that you can get the mill perfectly level. And then when it comes to the log rests, the B751 comes with these standard log rests, and you have 3 different positions. So you hook them on the screw with the spacer, and then you have the bottom part here, which is an eccentric plate, and that plate is also what you use to set it exactly square against the crossbunk or log rest. And you can put it in 3 different positions like that, and those 3 positions are also marked on the scale, on the scale where you set the height of on the saw head. I'm going to show you that later as well. So that's the standard ones, and they come for the B751. You get 2 of these and 2 kits to put the log rests onto log beds. As an accessory, you can buy these longer log rests, and they work the same way. You hook it on the top screw here, and it rests on the eccentric disc in the bottom. And you can also have them in 3 different heights. So the same type of fixing system, but slightly taller to accommodate larger logs. So these are standard on every band sawmill. You get 2 of these for the B751, B751 Pro, and the 1001. Additionally, on the B751 Pro and the B1001, you also get 2 of these, so you can switch between them. So if you know that you're milling larger logs on the B751, could be good to purchase these as an accessory. And also, I'm actually going to show you the setting up of the log rest. So when you put it up for the first time, you probably have the eccentric disc loosened already, and I don't know if you can see this, but as I turn the disc in the bottom, the angle on the log rest changes. So to be able to set this square with the log bed, I use this carpenter square and just put it against the log rest and the log bed, and I turn the disc until I don't have any light shining through the carpenter square and against the log rest. And when that's done, I hold the clamp or the eccentric disc and I tighten. And I can just double check that it's the same. It's still the same. And now we've set the log rest square with the log bed or against the log bed. And now it's the same for no matter what log rests I'm using. So easy as that, and it gives exactly the same angle if you have them there or in the most bottom position. we've showed this in previous videos, but to give you an idea, you can see that there's a slight edge here on, I mean that's actually on above the normal log bed. That means that when you're milling the last boards and you put the cant against that edge, you can mill all the way down to 25 millimeters. If we put this up here, I can show you how it looks. So if we slide this cant against, you can see that the cant goes against the edge there. But it only works when you have an edge, when you have two milled surfaces there. But so when you have that, you actually remove the log supports, and you can actually use the built-in log system on the log bed. And on the other side, we have this log clamp over here. So with the B751, you get one log clamp, and you get one beam. As you can see, it got several holes here, and that's for putting the log clamp in the right position against the log or the cant you're clamping. And what you do is, with our patented clamp here, is that you slide the top part, the large eccentric part, against the log, and then you follow along with the handle and clamp it in position. And now the cant is clamped. So these are really good. And those can also be bought as accessories together with this beam here. So if you extend your sawmill, or if you need to clamp it down a bit more, you can buy the clamp and the beam in a package, so that you can put the clamps on several log beds. Or if you want to put one of these beams on each log bed, so you're free to choose which one to put the log clamp on. So those are really good, and we've got a lot of good feedback from customers using them. They are excellent and work really well. So that's the basic pack for the B751, and also something that's good to have is what we call a toe board, and that is something you use to compensate for the curve, not for the curve, but for the taper of the log. So if you have the top end here, you can use this is the simple toe board that we have for the B751 and the B751 Pro. So it's a lever that you just lift up, and in that way you lift the log in this end to compensate for the taper. And it also doubles as a cant hook, so you can actually remove it and use it as a cant hook for turning the logs. So when you put it there, and on the top hole it rests below the log bed, and when you lift it up and position it, lifts the log up a little bit, just to compensate for the taper. And if you have logs that are tapered, it's a really good tool to have. But if it's the same thickness all the way around, it's not really necessary. But for Sweden and for Europe, we have a lot of tapered logs, and it's really a good tool to use. For the B751 Pro and the B1001, we also have the what's it called? It's called a hydraulic, like a manual hydraulic tow board, and we're going to look at that later as well. I talked about the log rests and the 3 positions on the shorter ones. And on the scale here, we have a small red arrow on 3 places. 75 millimeters, 120, 165. And that's actually the 3 positions of the log rests. So if you have the log rest in the bottom position, you can go as low as 75 millimeters. And if you go below that, you know that you will hit them with the saw blade. So that's a really easy way to keep track on if you're below or under the log supports. And actually, since the log supports are in fixed steps, you can't go wrong, really. I mean, if you have them in the top position, you know that's 165 is the lowest you can go with the saw blade. And if you have both in the same position, as long as you're above 165, you know that you can keep milling without hitting them. And compared to a system where the up and down of the log rests are stepless or variable without having a fixed height system, it's always difficult to know what height you set them on. But here it's really easy. You have three different heights to choose from. So that's the B751 and the standard accessories that you can use for it. So let's, I think we'll check the chat and see if we can get that up and running. See if we get any questions. I mean, remember to ask questions in the chat, and we'll try to answer as many as possible. Okay, the chat is up and running. Hi from Denmark. Hi Michael. And hi from Slovakia. Hi Rado. Good to have you here. So let's continue. If we go over to the B751 Pro, we looked at the standard log clamps and the log rests. For the B751 Pro and the 1001, they are exactly the same, but in addition you can actually equip your mill with the log clamping system, the XL log clamping system. So if we compare the standard log clamps with the XL log clamps, so that's the standard log clamp and that's the XL log clamp. The log clamps itself, the function is identical. It's exactly the same top part, but the bottom part, it's a more sturdy pipe, and it's longer to accommodate for really big logs as you might have on the 751 Pro or the 1001. And also this beam here that you put on the log bed is actually a bit different because of the different what do you say? The different appearance of them. So you choose the hole that's closest to the log. You take up the biggest slack with the large excenter on top, and then you follow up with the clamp and fasten. So exactly in the same way, but a bit more heavy duty. So that's the XL log clamps, and it's a kit. So it comes with this plate that you can either replace the ones you have. I mean, you can remove these ones for the standard clamp and replace it with the XL log clamping system, or you can choose to leave them on your mill and have them on different log beds or cross banks. So you can still use the same, the standard system if you want to, or you can use the XL log clamping system if you want to. And it's a kit with that and the log clamp. And if we go to the other side, there is also a bit different with the log support, which is, as you can see, a big sturdy steel tube with a roller on top to easier, or when you're turning the log, it's much easier to have the log turn on the roller than get stuck on the log rest itself. So it goes down here, and as you can see, it's a bit different compared with the other ones where you have the bolt and the eccentric clamp. On this log bed, we actually put both systems on, just so you can see. This one fixes like that, and the other one just goes down here, and you use this pin to set it to the correct height that you want it to. And you can of course set this log rest in the correct angles or squared against the log bed here as well. You have a plate in the bottom, fixes with 3 screws that you can slide back and forth to be able to set the correct angle while it's under load. So that's the log clamping system, both the standard and the log clamping XL. And we looked at the toe board for the B751, and if we have a look at the toe board for the B751 Pro and the 1001, it's a bit different. So this is the toe board with the hydraulic hand pump. So it's a roller on top, and by using the jack here, you can raise the top end of the log to compensate for the taper in the log. Since it's a roller there, it's also easier to slide the log back and forth on the mill if you have to move it a little bit. If you lift it up here and just lift it in the back and push it, or push it the other way, it's easier with the roller. And if you have 2 of these, one at each end, you can actually lift it up on both and easier than that slide it back and forth. So a really good tool, and you can of course move it sideways on this bar in the bottom, which is connected on both ends of the frame. So you can loosen it here and just slide it back and forth. So a bit more for larger logs and yeah, easier to handle them, and you get really strong with the bottle jack. So that's more or less the standard equipment that we have, and as you can see on the B751 Pro we have here, it's on a trailer kit. And that's also a good accessory if you want to move it somewhere else, move it around, and I mean it's much easier to move it from place to place, or if you're milling and helping others with milling, it's easier to move it around. And the trailer kit, it's an axle that you put under the rail, and also you have several support legs that you can adjust to get it to level out wherever you are. This one we have here is actually equipped with 2 extra support legs, and that's because this mill has been extended. So I talked about the standard cutting length was 4.8 meters. This is 6 meter cutting length on this one with the extension. And because of that we also added extra support legs. If you have it stationary, you can either have it on the ground, just as the B751 we looked at, or you can put it on these XL support legs that we also have. So if you have it stationary and you want to use the XL log clamping system, for example, you need to get the mill a bit up from the ground. So these XL legs, we sell them in a kit of 3, and that's good if you have a standard mill. If you extend it, you can buy additional support legs, so you get them evenly distributed under the mill. And of course these log rests, as you can see, they are quite long, and if we have them in the bottom position, they go under the saw bed, which means that the saw itself needs to be lifted up from the ground. So if you want to use them, you need either a trailer kit, the support legs, or anything else to get it up from the ground like this. But those support legs are really good, and they are attached to the holes that are existing in the rail itself. So that's the setup of the sawmill. We'll check the chat, see if we have any questions. Hi Sven, greetings from Germany. Greetings from Alaska. Will the standard clamps work up to the advertised max log diameter of the B751 Pro or the 1001? Yes, Michael. The standard clamps, they do work with the advertised maximum diameter of the machines. The XL log clamps just makes it much more easier to work with the machine, or the machine with these larger logs. So if you're mainly milling large logs or that are at the top capacity of the machine, I would certainly recommend to have the XL log clamps, but they are not necessary. You can still use it as advertised. Yes, okay, let's continue with the log loader and log turner. We can start from this side. I think we already put the log ramps up, and I mean the log ramps are a perfect accessory when you are using a trailer kit and when you come to a place where you're not able to get the logs up on the log bed in any other way. Of course, the log ramps together with the log loader and log turner is a perfect help. The log ramps just go around the rail where the saw head slides on, so it's just as easy as hanging them there. And they also have these anti-slip plates, which prevents the log from twisting and turning when you load it on the mill. So, but those log ramps together with the log loader and log turner is a perfect help for those places where you're not able to get the logs up onto the mill with a tractor, or if you don't have a log table in front of the mill or anything. But if we are to look at the log loader here, it's both a log loader and a log turner. Tror du kan komma hit. So now the log loader and log turner is disengaged, and you can use the saw head. You can slide the saw head back and forth without the crane itself interfering in with the saw head. So if you want to use it, you fold it up and also change places with the pin. You put it from the bottom hole to the top hole, and when you have it in the top hole, it's actually locked in position. And if you want to fold it down again, you change position of the pin, and then you can fold it backwards, and it hangs in place, and you can use your sawmill. You can start milling. And the crane consists of the winch and the wire and two pulleys where the wire goes above, so that you can get some momentum over the logs. And it also comes with a hook. The winch is a 2-speed winch. So 1 speed where you're actually pretty strong and slow, and then you have the quicker speed for those turns where you don't require that much force. And there's also a hole here for attaching the winch handle. And you have these holes, one hole for just locking the hook in place when you're not using it. And also when you're loading a log, you pull out the winch cable, you put it against or under the log, and then you hook it in the winch itself. And when you load it, you slowly rotate the log in place again. And if you want to turn the log around, you put the wire around, you put the hook in position, and then you can rotate the log around like that without effort. So when everything is in place, hook the hook in position, and then tighten it up, and then we can fold it back down. Another thing to note is that there are actually two different positions of the winch. So depending on if you're short or long, or short or tall, or if you have the sawmill up high or down low, you can actually put it in two different positions, so that it's always easy to reach the handle. And now it's ready to start milling again. So really good tools, and of course when you have heavy logs on the mill, this winch really helps a lot, and it's more safer as well to be standing on this side. You have the log rests here, and you can stand protected on this side and just handle really big logs, instead of standing on the other side and try to move them over with the cant hook. So a really good accessory. So let's have a look at the chat again. If you have any more questions, please write them in the chat, and I'll try to answer them if I can. One thing I forgot to show is actually something for when storing your mill. When you're not using the mill, we actually have a really good protective cover that's made for these mills. For the B751 and the B751 Pro, it's the same one, and for the 1001 it's a slightly bigger cover, and you also have a vent in the top to prevent the moist air from keeping inside of or under the cover. So a really heavy duty fabric, fully waterproof, and it protects your sawmill when it's standing outside and when you're not using it. So perfect accessory to just purchase and to put it over your sawmill. And it looks good as well. It's got a nice logo on the front, so you still know what's inside of it. There is one accessory we haven't talked about now, and that's the smart set, the set work system that we have, and that will be featured in a future live stream. So stay tuned for that, and check out our webpage and sign up for our newsletter, and you will be notified when new live streams are available or planned for. We have a question. Yeah, we have a question from Patrick in the UK. I have the B1001. Will you be doing a demo of the smart set at some time in the future? Yeah, exactly. That's we will be doing that, as I said. And he also said, hi from the UK. I used the log turner for the first time last week to turn a large U. I was amazed how easy and pain-free it was compared to having to use a cant for turning in the past. That's great, Patrick. Yeah, I really like the log turner. It makes life so much easier when working with large logs on the 1001 or on the B751 Pro. It's really a really good tool, but that's really great, Patrick. What is the brace or sawhorse at the end of the mill? What is it that he's seeing? Could it be the log table? Yeah. Over here we can come with the camera and just show what we have put up here. Du kan stå så där, tror jag. Over here is our chainsaw mills, if that's what you are referring to. So this is the F2 and F2 Plus chainsaw mills, and in front of the chainsaw mills we have a log table. So that's something we sell as well. So it's a log table that you can adapt in width and in length, and it comes with these steel bars that you can fold down. So you can have the logs here. When you're ready to load a new log, you fold them down and you roll the log on the sawmill. So this works with the bandsaw mills or with the chainsaw mills as well. So it's a really easy way of just putting up your own log table. So as you can see, it's just connected with 2x6s that you can put on. I mean, you can make them different widths. So yeah, so log table for loading logs, a really good accessory. And then we have our chainsaw mills, and if you're interested in our chainsaw mills, you can watch our previous live streams where we go through them as well, or have a look at logosol.com where you can find all our products that we have, both chainsaw mills and bandsaw mills. Yeah. Let's see if we have any more questions. Oh, it's a beautiful day to be outside. Okay, perfect. I guess I answered your question, Dylan. Great. Are there plans for introducing further hydraulic upgrades or adding a diesel option for the B1001? We are working with the hydraulic upgrades. Diesel options, I'm not sure. I don't think so. But hydraulic options, certainly. Hydraulic log loader, log turner, log clamping, and what else is there? Tow board, hydraulic tow board. So we are working on that. So just sign up for our newsletter, and you'll be the first to know. So if you have any more questions, just send them in and I'll try to answer them. If you don't have any more questions, I think we'll end the live stream there. I mean, you've seen the accessories that we have, both not accessories, but things that are included in the mill, attaching the log, compensating for the taper, and also the other accessories we have for the B751 Pro and the B1001. Of course, since the rail system on the 751 Pro and the 1001 is more rigid and prepared for more equipment or accessories, there will be more accessories available for the 751 Pro and the 1001 compared to the, I shouldn't say simpler, but the 751, the standard 751, with a more simple rail system, which you really can't attach that much accessories to. But still, it's a great mill if you want the basics. You want a really good bandsaw mill with great capabilities, such as up to 75 centimeter diameter logs. It's a good starting option. And then looking at the 751 Pro and the 1001, which are mills that you can grow a bit with. I mean, adding accessories such as smart set hydraulic accessories, or the manual log loader and log turner that I showed you here now. We have one more question from Dylan. Can you do shiplap or shingles on the mill? Of course, we don't have a tool for it, but of course it's possible to do shiplap or shingle by shingle. Let's see, shiplap, that's longboards, I believe. And so of course you can add a spacer under the board or under the cant, cut the board, take away the spacer, cut again and add the spacer, and so on. But shingles is more difficult if we're talking about shorter pieces. Of course, you can put a smaller cant on top of a plank that you do the same as you do shiplap. But we don't have a jig or a tool for it. But it's possible with some tinkering. Patrick have a question. If you're going to upgrade the accessories, will you also be upgrading the axle from 750 to 1,000 kilos? That's really a good question, Patrick. I guess with the extra added weight on the hydraulic system, it will be more than 750 kilos for the axle we have now. So that's definitely something we have to look into. But I don't know how the plans look for that. But certainly, because it's a much bigger mill and running it on if you're running it on a trailer, of course. So I think that was the last question for today, and as always, you're welcome to contact us directly. If you go to logosol.com, you can find our contact details. You can email us directly, info@logosol.com, or you can choose to send a message from the webpage as well, or you can call us directly here in Sweden. You can call us with. You can find a number online. It's a lot of numbers to count up. +46 611 182 185. 18285. Yeah. You know. Go on logosol.com. You can find just to the bottom of the page. You can find our email address, phone number, and our physical address as well. And check out our other live streams. If you go to Logosol Portable Sawmills on Facebook or on YouTube, you can see the previous ones. And please send us any feedback you might have, or if it's an accessory that you are missing out on, or something that you want to see, or if it's a product that we haven't shown before that you want to see in particular. So send us your suggestions and we'll try to plan it in the coming weeks or months. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye.